Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So I recorded a video earlier this week for premium members, and also earlier today, it's Friday, it's 10:37 now. I'm recording this, but this will be released to you free members early tomorrow morning. About some horses that I like for the weekend. Obviously their prices have shortened, quite a few of them, and that's to be expected. And that's another reason why you should really be signed up for a premium or pro account, to be able to get ahead of the game and get those earlier prices with some of our selections. So I'm going to go through all the ones that I highlighted still, but as I said, the prices may be a bit shorter. So looking at the 130 at Kempton, this was a race that I said I didn't understand why Phlegmatic was favourite. He's no longer favourite, he's second favourite. I didn't understand why he was second favourite or favourite, because he's running here for 18 grand off a £2 higher mark, a 137. Tristan actually taken 3 off, so they're running off a £1 lower mark than when finishing second in this version, the Coral Trophy Handicap Chase, which is in February, over the same course and distance, where the winner wins 85. You got beat by a neck off a £2 lower mark. Why on earth would you try and run here for 18 grand and potentially win it? And, you know, if you win that, you're then not going to win the Coral Trophy. Unless they're really, really confident with Chambleu, which would make sense. Former winner of the Kauto Star could run in this handicap. And, you know, if Phlegmatic wins tomorrow and Chambleu turns up in February, I'd be very keen on Chambleu for the Coral Trophy. But if Phlegmatic gets beat tomorrow, we'll have to keep an eye out for his handicap mark on Tuesday. Who did I think would win it there for? Well, Chianti Classico. I wonder whether So Kim's horses haven't been in great form, and he doesn't really want to win here, in my opinion. Again, he's another one. With a race with the Cheltenham Festival in mind, you know, he's clearly a good horse. 4 of his last 5 runs have resulted in wins. Clearly progressive, improving. Why would he want to win this, a race worth 18 grand, and probably handicap yourself out of a Cheltenham Festival win? That's what I would be doing with him. A trainer that doesn't have that option of potentially trying to wait or target races, as well as like the likes of Dan Skelton can do, is Mel Rowley or Rowley. Now, she doesn't have that luxury because she's a smaller yard, so she will want a horse to run a big race here. That was why I wanted a small bet on Latitude at 4s and 9-2. That one hasn't changed in price. But yeah, that's who I liked in the 130. Just a small bet on Latitude. We moved on to the Potemps qualifier, and I said that the only horse I couldn't see winning this was Third Wind, who would be running off the same mark as when winning the Potemps final. Why on earth would you then, therefore, after how many days, 667 days off the track, come and win this race, go up £6, and then turn up for the final off a £6 higher mark? You might as well get round, finish in the top 4, qualify, and go back potentially off a lower mark than when winning it a couple of years ago. The horse who I do think needs to win, and again, it's actually from the same trainer, Mel Rowley, or Rowley, I'm not totally sure how you pronounce that, Kintara. So Kintara used to be trained by Kim Bailey. We just spoke about Kim Bailey with Chianti Classico. Used to be trained by Kim Bailey, never quite got the best out of Kintara. Moved to Mel, and Mel's got the horse to win twice. That's not that much of a surprise. I think he could have moved to any trainer, and that would have sparked the horse into life and started to show his true form. But with that in mind, he's got to win tomorrow to probably get in the Potemps final, anywhere near the Potemps final of 124. His form is very good. He beat Gay Legacy last time out. As you can see here, Martha Bray also beat Gay Legacy last time out. So it's a good bit of form. There's nothing wrong with that form. And yeah, I highlighted Kintara when he was actually second favourite. But he is my selection in the Potemps network handicap. It's a qualifier. I think he needs to win, and I think he needs to win well to probably get in the final. That's a kind of angle you can do here. Apologies if you can hear my dog just starting to bark. I think he wants to go out, but he'll have to wait. So moving on to the Fairyhouse Dan and Joan Moore handicap chase. Who did I like in this? Well, I kind of suggested that the JP McManus horses often use this as a prep run for the Grand Annual. He doesn't have a great record in this, JP McManus, and he's had some quite a few, to be honest, with great chances coming here. I was really interested in Saint Noir, potentially dropping down a few pound again, and then ending up in the Grand Annual. That would be a good plan for Saint Noir. So who did I end up with? Well, I felt Let's Be Clear About It might need further. He's dropped from 3 to 2.5 down to 2. I'm just wondering if he's going to be found out for a bit of speed here. And I plumped for Uncle Phil. I felt his form was good. He did nothing wrong for most of his runs. He was third in a decent grade 2 last time. His only poor run recently was when he was 6th. He went out like a light that day, so clearly something was amiss. So Uncle Phil was my selection in this. I hope he is actually William Mullins' number 1, although Chavez is now being well backed. Moving on to 2:15 at Wetherby. I just said Gunsight Ridge. I'm looking out for him for Sandown in a few weeks. I really like this race, Apple Away versus Grey Dawning. I don't know who's going to win though, so I'm going to be watching this. Obviously with the plate in mind, potentially for Grey Dawning, this is probably going to ruin his handicap mark if he wins this. But this is a really good race. It may be worth looking at those in behind. Maybe Carbon King possibly a bit outclassed here, but the Changing Man potentially for something like the plate. Moving on to the Lanzarote Hurdle, I highlighted 2 in this that I like. They were Nemean Lion, who's stepping up in trip, but I think that will really suit. The form of that Cheltenham race has worked out well and has got a win over 2 Mile 2 in a grade 2 before at Kelso. When he won that, I thought he'd be good when he goes up to 2.5. They haven't done it just yet, but they've now come for a good handicap worth a 52 grand, and now they're stepping him up in trip. I think that's a great idea from Kerry Lee, and I think he will run a big race. He was 11 to 2, I think, at the time. Where have we gone? We've just lost the race. Is it 207 at Kempton? Let's just load up the odds again. Nope. Tivoli 2. Yeah, Nemean Lion. It wouldn't actually surprise me if Nemean Lion went off favourite. And the second one that I highlighted at 20s was Samuel Spade, who is very interesting because they've always thought a lot of him. And he hadn't quite done it, and they kept running him over 2 mile, and things weren't really working out. They stepped him up to 2 mile 3, and that was a serious performance last time. I was really, really impressed. He quickened so nicely around the outside of the field. And I think he'll be weighted with a bit more here. But if he has that turn of foot again, he's now going to be able to get to that level that I think they think he can get to, which is higher than 125. So they were 2 that I liked in the Lanzarote Hurdle. Moving on to the Moving on to the 250 at Wetherby. I think Santos Bleu is here to win, and I don't think Dan's got much of a plan with him. He's just going to try and win as many races as he can with Santos Bleu for Mr. Ben Sutton, who's riding quite well at the moment. He's riding this horse again for his dad. I think they're back here to make amends for what wasn't his best ride, actually last time out over 2 mile 5 at this track when beaten by the 4-6s, but he travelled so well that day. He just gave him far too much to do. Moving on to the Classic Chase. Now, I said earlier on this week I really liked one for this, and I've also backed him for the Grand National already, now that I know he is running in this race, and that is Major Dundee. Major Dundee's form is really good over marathon trips. He's been over 4 mile 2 in a Midlands National, which he won, and he's also ran in a Scottish National where he finished 3rd. He was 3rd behind Win My Wings and Kitty's liked. Both proven stayers, really good horses. Yeah, I really like Major Dundee. He's now back up in trip. I think this is the plan to win this, get into the Grand National and go really well in the Grand National. And you can currently get Major Dundee at hundreds in the Grand National. I think that is a big price. I think he's going to run a massive race tomorrow and hopefully he can win that en route to the Grand National. The biggest danger for me is probably this Gallia de la Toe. I think that's really strong form. The form behind the Real Whacker when they run into handicaps. I mean, I Am Maximus has actually come out of that race and won the Irish National. It wouldn't surprise me if Dan and Harry have planned this for a long time, but I'm really hopeful of Major Dundee, and Jonathan Burke is actually very, very good at this track, so there's a positive for Major Dundee. Couple more to go. Captain Matan dropping in class. I said this was very interesting. The fact that he's dropping in class. Yes, it's slightly further, but it's at Kempton, so that shouldn't be an issue. I'm hoping he's got the fact that he went off favourite or second favourite last time at Ascot in a better race than this. They clearly thought a lot of him. I think he's well handicapped. He didn't run great that day, but actually none of Paul Nichols's ran well that day. He was actually beaten. 3 or 4 of his were beaten, and one that went off odds on didn't run great. I know it won, but it only just scraped home itself. So I'm hoping for Captain Matan to bounce back here. The Unibet Veterans, I did have a look at this race, and I ended up having to go for that same horse that I liked at Sandown, if this was going to run at Sandown. Lord de Menil, the step up to 3 mile will really suit. He is well handicapped. I just want him to go forward and keep trying, really. Lily's just got to keep running. To be honest, I thought Ramses Detay and Good Boy Bobby had some good form, but I was surprised that Darasha Counter had this race as his second preference. I think Darasha Counter should have been coming here rather than going to... Where is he going? Kempton. I didn't understand that at all. Should have gone to Kempton, in my opinion. I think both of them are going to be on, so he will be going to Kempton. But hopefully Lord de Menil can run us a big race back over a 3 mile trip rather than a 2.5 mile. And finally, I highlighted Rare Edition. It was 11 to 8 at the time. It's now odds on pretty much everywhere. Nearly. William Hill's still going evens. Third last time out in a decent handicap. This won't take much winning. And Harry Cobden's been booked to ride. I think he's been booked to win it, not try and just get the horse round with the Betfair hurdle in mind. He finished third in a race that actually, it was a bumper. So many hurdles were omitted at Doncaster, you can just ignore that. His previous form last season was good, and this should be well within reach on his second start, and as long as all the hurdles are jumped, he should win this. So they're my thoughts for Saturday. As I said, premium members and pro members got some of this earlier this week and earlier on Friday, and they would have got better prices. So just another reason to sign up to be a premium or pro member. It's only £25 a month for premium. You get the ratings there, you get all of the analysis straight away. You get extra little tidbits from me as well throughout the week. So it's definitely well worth signing up for.